So, morning, everyone. To those who are live, it's always lovely to have you live, and those jumping on as we start. And to those who are listening later, also lovely to have you in our community. And if you are able to put something in the comments about just to scan yourself and see how you are feeling this morning, what's coming up in your body, how do you feel today? So, and if you want to put that in the comments, it's always lovely to have different voices, not just my voice in the comments all the time. I mean, not just my voice in the mindful moment all the time. And but it's also just for you to check in with yourself. So this last weekend was a beautiful full moon, with a very intense energy. And now we're starting to wane, we're starting to retreat from this. So a lot of people found themselves quite wakeful, quite energized. A lot was happening, and that all ties in with the full moon. So yeah, some of your comments fit in with that. And I thought I'd just share with you an interview, and I'll post it in the Mindful Moment group, and put the link also below this in the YouTube video. An interview between Jay Shetty and Ed Mylett. I hadn't heard of Ed Mylett before, but they talked about our intentions and our outside goals, and like our external goals, about how we want to be feeling inside and how we want other people to feel, the people we come into contact with. And we'll explore this a little bit more over the next few weeks. But the point of their discussion was that we can consciously create the feeling inside us before we're in that state. We don't need necessarily external things to change before we start to feel these feelings. We can learn to create them more in our bodies. And Ed Mylett was saying that for him it was such a familiar feeling, and for most of us this is the case too, to feel stress, to feel fear, to feel anxious. That was almost his emotional home, the place that he went back to, because it was something that was so familiar from when he was growing up. And so his emotional default was worry and fear, and that almost in our bodies can feel good when we are in a state where it doesn't feel good, it feels right. And he gave a wonderful example about he was building a beautiful home, and he was on his way over to go and assess how it was all going, to check in on it. And on the way, he found himself very angry, very fearful. Things had gone wrong. Someone had cancelled on him, and then the contractor had made a mistake. So he found that he was very angry when he walked into this situation. When he walked into the kitchen, and he found these Mexican builders there who were in the kitchen, and they were all working. These guys have left their families to come as contract workers to the US. He said, you can't imagine how difficult life is for people who have to leave their homes and families to provide for them and to earn enough money for them. And yet they had music going on in the background. They were chatting, they were laughing, they were doing work that they were good at, and work that was kind of meaningful for them, work that they were skilled in and trained in. And he paused for a moment, and he noticed his own emotional state inside, being the person that this house was built for, and noticed their emotional state inside, being the people who had very little, but who were just going about their daily jobs. And he just felt if winning in life was the quality of their emotional state, then these guys were winning. And life must be difficult for those guys, but they were choosing joy. And so he realized in this moment that it's not so much about the mansion. It's about how we think we'll feel when we have the mansion or the relationship, or when we lose weight or we get fit. Those feelings about how we think it will make us feel. And to concentrate on creating those emotions within us before we even in that state. So they're not waiting for things to be perfect before we can feel good. actually training our body to have much more of a default emotional state, which is around peace or love, joy or connection, which will help our lives to flow better. And it's so much easier said than done. But this is what we are practicing in our mindful moments. This is what we're practicing in our daily practices, learning to tap into this emotional state and knowing that we can actually switch it on at any time. So the ways we practice this is in our mindful moments, also in our daily practice. Different things can also support us. Our oils can help to shift an emotional state. They can help us calm down or connect or feel more uplifted. Music and dance are so powerful for this. Gratitude journal, just pausing to think into a couple of things that we're really grateful for can help to shift this emotional state. And of course, nature. And when I feel that I'm going off, I go to recalibrate in nature, and that might be just a walk outside, a walk barefoot in the grass in our garden. I love being near the sea, surfing, just being outside and noticing the colors and the light and the changing of seasons. And I think that's why I love stargazing so much, just to see the changing of the moon and the stars. And it can really help one to calm and ground and to anchor into our senses, which helps us to become more present. So I don't know if that's been your experience, and if you do want to share what you do when you're feeling off to connect, we'd love to hear afterwards or in the chat. But now we're going to go into this practice again and settle into the space and see if we can create these feelings of gratitude and connection and joy within us, without anything changing in our external circumstances. So I invite you to assume a posture that is upright and dignified wherever you find yourself. And just to take a few deep breaths and do a little scan through your body. Just noticing how it feels in your body as I read the words of this beautiful Mary Oliver poem. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time I rest in the grace of the world, and am free. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time I rest in the grace of the world, and am free. So just allowing ourselves to settle for this time, assuming a posture that is upright, with a strong and straight spine, feeling into the strength and support of our spine that's always there, no matter how we might find it today. And feeling into the soft belly and soft front. In a posture that's comfortable but allows us to be fully awake for this moment. With feet on the floor, legs uncrossed if you're sitting in a chair. Noticing points of connection of your feet with the floor. Or if you're sitting on a cushion, just noticing the anchoring of your feet and your lower body. Allowing your gaze to be diverted toward the floor, your eyes to be closed, feeling into the softness around your eyes. And sinking into this meditation with an open awareness. Being open now to sounds around us. Distant sounds. And ones that are more close in, and just allowing them to land on your body. Allowing us to anchor through sounds, not labeling the sounds as good or bad or soothing or irritating, just allowing them to land. And then bringing your attention closer, right up close to your boundary with the world, to your skin. Noticing where it brushes with the cool air, where it brushes against your clothes. Or you may notice it in contact with the floor, whatever you're sitting on. And spending just a few moments exploring these sensations. And changing our attention from this wide-angled, more open awareness of the external world, and bringing it to a more focused lens of awareness in our bodies, noticing air as it enters our bodies, as it brushes against our nostrils and moves the back of our throat, moves into our chest and heart space. And now using the rhythm of your breath as your anchor, and just feeding into this constant rhythm, this continuous cycle in our bodies. When your thoughts start to wander, because they will, that's what thoughts do, just guiding them back to the anchor of your breath in your heart space. And as we sit here, just inviting a feeling of gratitude into our heart space. Can just be the sensation of gratitude. Or you can attach it to gratitude for a moment, for this breath, for a moment that's happened this morning, yesterday, for something in your life. Inviting this feeling of gratitude, cultivating it in your heart space. Noticing if it has a color, a texture, a sensation, light. And again, if your thoughts wander off, just gently guiding them back to your heart space, to each breath. If there's something that's plaguing you or worrying you, just inviting it into this heart space to be cocooned by this sensation of gratitude and love. Not trying to solve it or change it or fix it. Just holding it in your heart space. As you'd hold a child on your lap tenderly, just being there for them. And then gently letting go of that vision. And if you have any worries or concerns about others, loved ones, just inviting them into that heart space. Offering up the highest possible outcome for them with the love and gratitude that we have in our heart space. And then when you're ready, releasing that and just returning to your breath. This present moment. Just feeling how it feels to sit in your body. And then with these last few breaths, just gently moving into your body. That's rubbing your hands, moving your shoulders, moving your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, just opening your eyes, taking in the colors and the light with a new presence and a new awareness. I wish you a very blessed day. I encourage you to take a few breaks in nature if you can as you go through your day, even if it's just pausing, going outside and looking at the clouds, looking at the light, noticing the breeze in the trees. Wish you a blessed day and thank you for joining. And if you feel this is helpful to anyone, please feel free to share the recording, which will be on my website or YouTube channel. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Ellen. You're welcome to unmute or just to carry on with your day, but sending you love and blessings for a beautiful day.
That was really beautiful. Thanks, Nix.
Thanks, Karika. Appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks, Sal. Thanks, Sue. Thanks, Bashi. Thanks, Ellen.
Thanks so much, Nicola.
Thanks, Jean-Marie.
Bye.
Lovely to have you.
Thanks.
Okay. Bye.